with me. Work with me.
So we're kicking off our Work With Me series this morning. We got thousands of letters from people across the country inviting us to come spend a day on the job with them. Well, I was particularly moved by the story of a young woman from the Chicago area who wrote in to tell us about her typical day. A waitress holding down 2 jobs to make ends meet. 13 million people in America work in the food service industry. Here's how just one of them gets through her day. It's 6:30 on a chilly Thursday morning, and 24-year-old Grace DeBoer
All right, guys, see you later.
is already on her way to her first job. Over the next 17 hours, she'll work at 2 restaurants, serve hundreds of meals, and wait on a dizzying number of customers. And yet, she'll still barely be able to pay her bills. Like a lot of you who wrote us, Grace is struggling to get ahead in the new economy. She's still living at home and can't afford to finish college. Health problems have left her $20,000 in debt. And yet you'd never know it. Grace shows such, well, grace.
There's a table right there. How we doing over here? See you later.
Just how she manages to keep serving up that bubbly and infectious personality piqued my interest.
Hi, Grace.
So I asked if I could come work with her.
Hi, I'm Grace. Nice to meet you. Too.
Bring us inside. It's
Our first stop, job number 1, Panera Bread in Schererville, Indiana.
I got you a name tag.
Oh, thank you.
She started working here this summer after being laid off from her first love, working as a teacher's aide. Now she's working 2 jobs to stay afloat.
How long do you think you can keep this up, these double shifts?
I don't know until I finally go crazy.
So what is the ultimate goal? Is it to save a certain amount of money to be able to
Pay off my bills. I've got a lot of bills, especially hospital bills, because I didn't take care of myself and my diabetes for a while there, and I have to pay the cost now. I didn't have insurance, and I'm paying the price.
Grace now spends 5 days a week here, all of it on her feet.
Do you ever feel like you're in the weeds? Like you just...
Oh yes, there's points where, you know, you're like, I gotta get my head on straight.
Our morning is spent prepping big catering orders, but by 11 a.m., the lunch stampede begins. Making sandwich
The bacon,
after sandwich
Gouda.
after sandwich.
You got it down! Woohoo!
And just when I thought I had the hang of things, it's time to wrap sandwiches.
Megan's making fun of my wrapping skills.
A process I just couldn't master.
They won't even let me do it anymore.
The goal at Panera to make every order from scratch in less than 2 minutes.
Order for Kima.
Kima? Are you Kima?
No, that's Jody. She's one of our employees.
Where's Kima?
I have no clue.
I'm getting worried.
Today, we made 250 sandwiches, helping feed 415 customers.
So we did it. It's quitting time.
Yes!
But remember, this is only Grace's first job. It's 1 o'clock, and we still have 10 hours to go.
Did you ever think that you would be one of those people that would be holding down 2 jobs?
Not really. Growing up, I really thought, you know, I'd go to college, I'd get a job possibly as a teacher, and I'd, you know, make it and be happy.
Are there times where you just hit a brick wall and
I'll go home and I'll just sit there and hug my pillow and cry because I'm working so hard and sometimes it feels like a dead end. But when that bill gets paid and I have, you know, a couple extra bucks, it makes it worth it. That's yours, that's our apron.
It's now 5 o'clock, and Grace is still on her feet at job number 2, waiting tables at Boston's restaurant and sports bar.
We've got the kitchen back here.
By now, I'm wiped.
This is the drink station.
But it turns out,
Mustard.
we're just getting started.
let's go. Let's take some orders. Here you go. We're going to get a check on your food. You having a good night?
I like to think my job is tough,
Another cable news host.
but I can't imagine how Grace keeps everything straight in her head, remembering 2 full menus,
Are you more of a mozzarella stick type of guy?
computer systems,
Ooh, I hit the wrong one.
and people skills. And yet she's still laughing. Meanwhile, I'm a little rusty.
Excuse me? I need 2 Bud Lights. Stat.
Let's just say I was never that good of a waitress when it was my day job.
Oh, we got a shoe down. We'll be right back.
By the end of her shift at Boston's, Grace and I will have served more than a dozen tables. That's 40 meals, 80 drinks, and nearly $650 in sales. And get this, we tracked Grace's fancy footwork. In just one day, she walked nearly 4 miles.
I'm embarrassed. You're coming to New York, you're gonna think my job's a breeze.
By 11 p.m., Grace can finally head home. But tomorrow she'll be up, doing it all over again.
I've learned a lot about myself along the ways. I've made mistakes, and everyone makes mistakes to find themselves. Those mistakes somehow, always turn out good in the end.
And Grace DeVore is here in New York with us. Who is holding down the fort at Panera Bread this morning?
I don't know. They must be going insane
I
without
can't
me.
believe they let you leave. Well, it was such a pleasure working with you, and I know that something good did come out of this because this wasn't the field you wanted to go into. You thought you wanted to go into education, but now you really like restaurant management.
Yes, actually, I'm hoping to go back to school and become a restaurant manager. Maybe not corporate-wise, but just a regular GM, general manager.
Yeah, and what was that a typical day for you, or you said you actually had to stay a little later at Fridays?
Yeah, I had to stay till about midnight that night working a party, but it's what happens. You got to go with the flow. It's part of working in the food service industry.
You really have the people skills. I mean, unflagging. It's unbelievable how many hours you worked, and you never seem to show any irritation.
And we couldn't even give her a weekend.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes it shows.
You're back at it tomorrow morning?
Yes, tomorrow morning. I believe it's 7 o'clock. I have to be there.
My hat is off to you.
Well, it's so great to see you. And you're going to stick around because
Yes.
you're going to work with us.
Awesome.
Coming up in
And
a few
honestly,
minutes.
how did Bianna do? I mean, just between
She
me and you.
actually, at Panera, we were amazed. She did so awesome there. She caught on
I
much
just couldn't
better.
rap.
Some of our newbies can't even catch on that fast. I mean, and you came in cold, not knowing the menu, and
All right, you heard it here. Bianna Goldraga,
Tex.
ace sandwich maker.